Welcome, fellas. This is Dennis Spurling. It's always good to be back here. Big shout out to Lucifer Ratzinger. Who else? Shout out to Urban Eagle. Thank you so much for the contribution. If you can hear me, hit the number 1 button. Let me know that you can hear me. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me. Also, make sure you check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. Oakland, San Francisco, New York, Brooklyn, Florida, Mississippi. Let me know you be checking in from. I want to know where my guys are checking in from. Also, make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Guys, what's up? It's Uncle D. I'm back, man. And I've kind of taken on a new format. You know, we really getting to know each other a little bit better. It's been a year. I'm now a known quantity. I think you guys kind of already know what you're gonna get. You've seen my my broadcast over the year. You kind of you know who I am at this point. You see what I'm saying? You know what you're gonna get here. You know pretty much what I'm gonna do, and you pretty much know I'm going to take the side of black men no matter what. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like that. They want me to be fair and balanced, but that's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is side with black men, teach you how to defend yourselves, teach you how to basically, force you to see the other side, put it out there in the universe. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because it seems like no matter what black men do, even if it's something good, we get blamed for it. And we definitely get blamed for stuff that we do when we make mistakes, no matter how old he is or young. Be a 14-year-old boy, made a mistake. Oh, he's a criminal. He's a horrible person. This is how black men get treated. You see what I mean? And I think I'm tired of it. And I think many of you brothers are tired of it. And so because of that, we have to begin to speak up for ourselves, and that's kind of what I'm doing. And who better to do that than an experienced trial lawyer. But in addition to that, a person who has experience in this world. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that I'm not just some YouTube guy. I had a whole life and still do have a whole life outside of YouTube and Facebook and social media. As many of you guys know, I'm a father. But along with being a dad, I'm also an entertainer, a business owner. I back in the day, not even so far. I can't even say back in the day. We talking about pre-COVID. You can see me hanging out with people like Bun B. This is UGK for life. Shout out to Bun B, man. He's one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. But I posted these pictures up on my YouTube community tab. Esquire Entertainment is something you all recognize. Esquire Entertainment is my company. It's a company that I own. And what do? Well, there was this movie I called Candy, which you can see now. I believe it's on Netflix. It's on one of those streaming channels. One of my homeboys, Nahaya Jackson, who's a producer, they call him Mr. Boomtown. He had this movie coming out. I'm always down with the arts. And so what did I do? I said, well, look, man, let me put this production on for you here in Houston, so everybody around here can see your work, and that's just what I did. We called up all our friends. Bun B came out. You see, that's Bun B from UGK, man. But these are people I know. These are people I hang out with, and not just Bun B, but that's my company. This is a little pool party I had, and Slim Thug came through just to say what's up. And I appreciate that. Thug is one of the local hip hop artists. For those of you guys who don't know, everybody know Thug, man. That's Slim Thug, man. So he come through, and of course, this is my brother Derek Muhammad. So it's not just like artists and whatnot. These are real people that I deal with on a daily basis, man, that I've seen around. Even if they know my face, even if they don't know me personally. But this is a good brother. I've been supporting his Black Male Summit every year. You know what I'm saying? So, that's Brother Derek Muhammad. But these are people that speak for me. This is one of my homegirls and yours. Y'all might know her as Low London. I know her as Lauren, sweet girl, Alabama. She was on a Bad Girls Club, Chicago, I believe. Y'all probably were young boys. But, man, she and I go way back to before she was famous. But, you know, these are the type of people I hang out with. I could call up, chop it up with her right now. And this is, of course, Coleon the War. He's a 2A advocate. He's also an attorney, Thurgood Marshall graduate. And that's us out hanging out, shooting at the range over there, Top Gun shooting and just hanging out. And I got the Coleon the War hat. But these are the people, you know, I have an eclectic group of friends that I hang around. You see what I'm saying? This is my homegirl, Just Brittany. She was on my TV show, co-parenting with the Spurlings. You know, we cool. You know, these are the type of people I'm hanging out. Of course, just, you know, I'm chilling. So this is Pablo Escobar's graveyard, man. I was watching back in the day, like many of you guys, I was watching that Netflix special where they talked about like Narcos, or they called it Narcos. So I decided to go hang out in Medellin. That was a young lady I was seeing at the time. She's actually Dominican. And so I flew her over to Medellin. We met in Colombia to hang out, party, had a good time and whatnot. And so we went on that Narco Traficante tour. And this is actually, I wonder if I can get this screen a little bigger. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad, y'all. I guess it's not happening. Ain't no haps on that. But let me see if I can get back. If you get a little bigger, you can see that that's Pablo Emilio Escobar Garavilla. That is Pablo Escobar's gravesite right there, man. So, you know, but you know, so the thing is, man, I really get out. You know, I really have real life world experience. This is me and my man Isaiah Carey. You might remember him from, he was at that anchor man, that black anchor man back in the day. A bug flew in his mouth. He was like, let's get the hell out of this country ass town. So I've appeared on his show a couple of times, you know, doing my thing, basically saying the same things I say here. Oops, let me see. I guess I lost it for a minute. Let me see if I get back to that. But yeah, that's me and Isaiah Carey right there. And, you know, but I guess I'm saying all this to let you know that I'm a real dude. These are some of my homeboys that was on the show with me. But, you know, I do real things, man. I get out there. I'm not just speaking theoretically. You know, now that y'all seen the rap music, you know, stuff I don't really do too much anymore. But, you know, I've done all that. You see what I mean? Like I've done all these different things. So I'm talking to you from a place of experience and knowledge. I'm not just up here, you know, running my mouth and speaking theoretically. That's, of course, is Rusty Hardy. This is attorney Rusty Hardy. He's actually opposing counsel in a case that I'm working on. You guys might not know him, but he's the one defending the former quarterback for Deshaun. I forget Deshaun's last name. Deshaun Jackson, is that his name? The former quarterback for the Texans. But Rusty Harden is a well-known attorney. And, you know, he's representing the defendants in the case. I'm representing the plaintiffs in a class action case. And so we were just in courtroom and I chopped it up with him. I got his phone number. You know, I've called him up. We know each other. And, you know, it's cool. And then, of course, there's the mayor. Brother, frat brother here with some other fraternity brothers. That's the mayor of Houston right there. And just hanging out and about, man. You see what I'm saying? And of course, this is my homeboys, Beans and Cornbread, all that wonderful music that you guys hear produced by Beans, which is right here, and Cornbread, man. This was Cornbread's birthday, and we just decided to hang out. But, you know, man, so, you know, I got all these different you know, yeah, Deshaun Watson, that's who Rusty Hardy represents. I got all these different eclectic group of friends and comrades. That's me and Willie D at the studio. And we had just finished, and these folks was there with us, but we had just appeared on the panel. And you know, man, so these are the type of people that I hang around. You know, these are the type of people that I see. I'm out there, man. And of course, you guys know me as attorney Dennis Spurling, and you know, plant explosions, car accidents, trucking accidents, and you know, so you know, this is I'm out there. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm really out here doing things. I'm really out here hanging out. So I'm not just this one-dimensional person. Oh, he's just a lawyer. He's just this. I'm just like you. I would do what you would do if you were me. You see what I mean? So when I speak to you, I'm speaking to y'all from a place of experience. When I saw this whole, and that comes to the point that I want to talk about today. When I heard about this whole Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation, and that's what we're talking about today. You know, my life experience tells me that story didn't really add all the way up. Not just as an attorney, but just knowing human nature and knowing how people are. There's more to this story than what we were being told. You see what I mean? And so because of that, it made me look at it like, well, what the hell is what's really going on? So now the trial is coming up in January. A big shout out to my man Lucifer Ratzinger again. And my man R. Alexis, thank you so much, because you know sometimes I forget all these different names and whatnot. Stuff don't really register like it used to. Getting up in age, and some things just aren't as important. But yeah, his name is Deshaun Watson, and that's who Rusty Hardy represents. But the question is, and this is something that I think is a problem. Is systemic, right? Why is it that we allow women to lie and just get away with it like that? Why is it that women can tell these lies and we just inclined to believe them just because they're women? Probably because we've been brainwashed to and have been told that women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and that's what little girls are made of. And you know, that brainwashing now carries over into reality. That's not even a reality that ever existed. So what do I mean by that? I'm looking at a situation, fam. Shout out to my man Jammer Understands. Thank you so much. Y'all make sure y'all get the contributions up, because you're not going to hear this anywhere else. We live in a world where, you know, women's opinions are favored over men, even though they're human beings just like us. But what ends up happening? You end up getting men who get body slammed by the court system. They get body slammed in the court of public opinion over lies. And many of us are too afraid to even speak up, because sometimes the lies are so, sometimes the alleged actions are so heinous, you're afraid to say something because then you might suffer the backlash. Remember, anybody who stood up and tried to say, hey, this whole Tory Lanez situation, it doesn't sound altogether square to me. Like, I don't see how that happens. So you in a limo, you two rappers, y'all in a limo, right? With your other homegirl, who both of y'all know, apparently Tory Lanez, and this is all allegedly, apparently Tory Lanez is having a relationship with Megan Thee Stallion's homegirl. And he's also messing around with Megan Thee Stallion. And apparently something happened and somebody allegedly ended up getting shot, right? My thing is, why would Tory Lanez even shoot this girl? What is up with that? What's the beef about? It's not a killing beef. What's the issue? And so now when we kind of, and then when you look at her injuries, yeah, I saw her bleeding, but I want y'all to think about this, man. Have you ever been shot before? Those of you guys who've ever been, have you ever stubbed your toe before? What happens when you stub your toe? You could barely walk. That foot has some of the most intricate bone structure in the body. Those bones are extremely small. You got lots of muscles, small muscles connected to that. When you hit that foot, when you stub that toe, you're not really able to do much. So can you imagine getting shot in the foot? I mean, what happens when you get shot in the foot? What happened? What do you think happened? Do you think you're able to walk that off? I mean, from what I recall, Megan Thee Stallion, was twerking a few weeks after she supposedly got shot in the foot. How does that even happen? How do you even recover from that? You're supposed to be in the cast. Your foot is supposed to be shattered. They got to stick pins all, in your foot. So was she really shot in the foot? Does the physical evidence demonstrate that? You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, man. Does the physical evidence even demonstrate that? When I look at this foot, okay, and I'm just gonna pull it up, because we like to look at the evidence here. And Dennis Spurling, this doesn't look like a gunshot to me. I want you to look at it. You tell me what you think. This looks like a foot being scraped. Okay, this looks like you cut yourself. Look how the abrasions right here come up. That don't look like a bullet. Does a bullet do that? A bullet goes in. It's a small entry wound and a small exit wound. You see what I'm saying? So this to me looks like a scrape right here. This actually, look at that jagged edge of that foot. It looks like a scrape. It looks like glass. It looks like a knife. Basically, this is what a turkey look like when you carve it on Thanksgiving Day, fam. Doesn't it? Okay, just look at the physical evidence. This is not an entry wound. This is not an exit wound. That's a cut. You know what happens? And you don't have if you got a bullet wound in you like that, something's going to be shattered. There's going to be an indentation. You guys know people with bullet wounds in them. You know how much pressure comes in from that, right? That looks like a glass cut to me. That looked like a knife cut to me. You see what I'm saying? That's what that looks like. This is the back of her heel right here, fam. He shot this girl in the back of her heel. That doesn't look like a bullet wound. Where's the exit wound? You telling me a small 9mm bullet cuts under all of this and scrapes it off? The physical evidence is not really there to me, and I'm not an expert in wounds. All I'm saying, fellas, is this looks like a glass cut. Now, let's say you sitting in the back of a limo, right? And you decide you want to get out that limo. How do you get out of that limo? And the door won't open, right? Or let's say you fighting in the back and you start kicking and whatnot. What is it? And you got your shoes off in the back. Like many women do, they take their shoes off, man. Right? In the back, they've been partying all night, whatever, and you take your shoes off. This looks like one of these windows was kicked out and you kicked it through and then your foot got caught in the window, you snatched it back and it scraped the skin off of it. That's what that looked like. That's what this looks like to me. This doesn't look like a gunshot. That's what this looks like. Okay, so now this is not the only piece of evidence that we're going to look at, and we're just looking at it. But to me, that don't look like a gunshot. Right, it could be a glass bottle, it could be anything, but that doesn't look like a gunshot to me, family. I know what gunshot, let's look at what a gunshot wound looks like. Okay? Let's look gunshot wound. Let's just type it in. Gunshot wound to the foot. I want you to look at it. Okay? Let's just look at what a gunshot wound to the foot looks like. Okay? Fair use. We all in. Shout out to my man W. Alfonso. These are what gunshot wounds to the foot look like, fam. This is Megan Thee Stallion's injury. And this is what a gunshot wound to the foot looks like. Bam. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. Bam. A hole through it. Look at what it did. Ate it up. These are cadavers, by the way. This is what a gunshot wound to the foot looks like. Okay. Even that right there. Look at that. You can see the indentation here. Bam. The gunshot, the bullet went in there. And this is poster. Look at what that foot tore off the back for somebody. Here's an entry wound. Well, here's an entry wound and an exit wound. This is what a gunshot wound to the foot looks like. Here's one to the hand. Look at how it tore all that up. See that? You see the difference between that, right? And look at this. Look at what's happening. You're not going to be twerking after you get shot in the foot. This is what's going to happen to you after you get shot in the foot. You got this going on. This is what your foot looks like after you've been shot in the foot. It doesn't look like this, fam. You understand what I'm saying? This is plain old common sense. How many of us have seen, you got homies have been shot. Some of y'all been shot. But we so quick to believe that this woman is telling the truth that we just really believe the story and ignore the evidence. That's all I'm saying. Now, we weren't there. I weren't there. The trial is coming up in January. So we're eventually going to find out. There's going to be testimony. Do I believe the cops? Probably not. Because the cops and the DA have to go forward with this story that they came up with. Right? Otherwise, they look real bad. They got to go forward with this story. Don't y'all like this camera, man? I got this new camera, man. Y'all make sure, if you like the camera, you can see me. You can see my little gray hairs. And, all that. Uncle D need to get a new haircut. But it's all good, man. But logical thinking men, and that's kind of what I want to get. Logical thinking men shouldn't jump to conclusions based on what the press says, based on what the news says, because it's already tainted, tilted against men in general and tilted against black men specifically. You see what I mean? We can't even be victims, even if we're telling the truth. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, look at all the black men who were victims of some vigilante who decided that we had done something wrong, and come to find out had done nothing wrong. You see, what do we do? Huh? What do we do? Do we just go keep going with that? I don't get that. Look at Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin hadn't done anything, right? He hadn't even done anything. He was just walking to the store, getting some, what was it? A drink and some candy. But the media made him out to be the bad guy. Made him out to be some horrible guy. He was a kid. Right? So what's the difference between that and this Tory Lanez situation? You see a black dude. You see this black dude right here, man. You see this black dude, and he's the usual suspect, right? Isn't that what happens all the time? And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the gun residue, and since she brought it up, was there any gun residue found on his hands? Not to my recollection. In fact, the physical evidence shows that the gun residue, if any, was found on the other woman's hands, the friends. So I have a question of whether or not the girl was even shot by the gun. Maybe what happened, and this is just a theory, maybe what happened, this lovely lady, Megan Thee Stallion, found out, or her friend found out that Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion was messing around, and then a fight happened in the back of the limo. And in that fight, a gun was pulled. Maybe old girl pulled a gun and she shot. Maybe she didn't hit anybody. And if she did hit anybody, I don't see how that wound that I saw earlier is a gunshot. Maybe the bullet didn't hit anybody. Maybe the bullets, if there was a gun, didn't hit anybody. Because that right there, this right here, does not look like a gunshot wound. To me, that looks like glass. Maybe she got in a fight with the girl in the back. They scrapping it out. Foot goes through the windshield. She snatches it through. The gunshots are fired. The police pull them over. And both of the women decide, well, you know what, girl, he was sleeping with you, messing around on me, and we friends. We just going to throw this dude under the bus. It won't be the first time a black man was thrown under the bus. It won't be the first time two women have gotten together and lied on a man. It won't be the first time two black women got together and lied on a black man, will it? And why not sacrifice this dude? Huh? Why not? If you got to choose between messing up your money and messing up his reputation and his money, why not? Huh? But we fell for it again, didn't we? We fell for it again, right? Now let's look at some of the stuff that's coming out in the trial. Let's kind of analyze, the crosstalk. First of all, the first thing I noticed, right? The DA, right? The DA, right? If they had such a lock on the case, right? And I'm gonna pull this article up. I want you to read what's being said. Okay? Let's look at it. No plea deal in the Tory Lanez assault case involving Megan Thee Stallion. What does that mean? Y'all know what a plea deal is. Anybody who knows what a plea deal, let me know. That means we want to settle this. The plea deal starts typically with the DA looking at their case and analyzing, saying what they got. They got holes in this thing. And so they don't want to go to trial. See, they've already dug their heels into this case. And so now, if they back out or let him off, or if they lose, they look real bad. So let's check this. Let's see what this is about. On November 3rd, 2021, because it's been about a year. You can only hold the truth back so long. Okay? You can only hold the truth back so long. The scat rapper is now set to face live testimony alleging he shot Megan Thee Stallion in her feet with a semi-automatic gun last year. Right? Despite meaningful discussions with prosecutors, Tory Lanez hasn't reached a plea deal in his felony assault case and is now set to face live testimony next month alleging he shot Megan Thee Stallion in her feet with a semi-automatic gun last year. And as I've showed you guys earlier, that does not look like a gunshot wound to me. That looks like a glass scrape to me. Okay? But see, the DA has already dug their heels in. Typically, the DA won't offer you a deal if they got an ironclad case. Somebody says it's buffering. How's this going? If you guys can hear me, hit the number 1 button. It looks fine to me. I'm monitoring the screen. It looks good to me. If you guys can hear me, hit the number 1 button. If we fine, hit the number 1 button. I need to know. Let me know if we good. It's my uncle. Okay, y'all. I'm good. All right, don't give me no false alarms. We're gonna time you out. If you're telling me it's some issues and it's no issues, we're gonna time you out for 30 seconds. All my moderators, man, make sure y'all keep an eye on the chat room. You know what I'm saying? And because I don't want to break my flow here, because I really get into this case. It's I'm delivering it to you in a way that you can look at it logically. And I don't know what happened. All I'm giving you is allegations, and I'm reading between the lines. I'm looking at the physical evidence. And, I want to make sure that this young man, Tory Lanez, because see, he looks like us. This is a young black boy right there. That's a young black man. He looks like us. When they put one of us in jail, they putting all of us in jail, man. You don't have any friends, brothers. You barely have yourselves as friends. So you don't want to make enemies out of yourself. Don't let them use you, brothers. Don't let them use you to lynch another black man unwarranted. Now, there's some brothers out there doing some cold stuff. Okay? There's some brothers out there doing some horrible things. But it's a lot of brothers out there who've been falsely accused. And we have to acknowledge that. And that's what I want to do right now. Okay? So let's get back to the conversation. Now, generally speaking, and this article is in Rolling Stone. This is a reputable magazine. Generally speaking, the DA is not going to offer a deal if they got an ironclad case. If they offer a deal, that means they know their case is shaky in some regard. And so what they're going to do is say, ooh, hold on a minute. We might lose this. We might take an L here. We're going to look real bad if we take an L here. Okay? Now, this is You know, they still haven't recovered from that O.J. Simpson L that they took back in the day. You guys don't know who that is. Take a look. O.J. Simpson, Johnny Cochran versus the district attorneys of Marshall Clark, Chris Darden. They took an L. It was well publicized, and they took a hard L on that. They look real bad. People still mad at O.J. and everybody else involved in that case because they think that the district attorney's office failed to win a case that should have been a lock. But what happened, the news media got ahead of the facts, okay? And people start trying the case in public opinion, and the facts didn't match what? The facts didn't match. The facts didn't match what the newspapers were writing. So the public is left saying, "Oh, damn. What happened? This is a travesty of justice." And I think this is what we might see here. I'm just reading the tea leaves. I don't know what's going to happen. But if we come to find out if there's no residue on Tory Lanez's hands, okay, if this wound inflicted upon Megan Thee Stallion turns out not to be a gunshot wound, or there's no physical evidence to support that it's a gunshot wound. And we know gunshot wounds when we see them. We have whole sciences, forensic science, dedicated to determine the type of gun that was used, the entry wound, the exit wound. We know what a gunshot wound looks like. And DA clearly in LA, in Los Angeles, California, home of gangbanging, gang capital of America, home of the drive-by shooting, they know what gunshot wounds look like. And they know what cut wounds look like. And they know definitely how to trace a gun back to the shooter. And remember, they arrested these men, this young man and Meg and everybody right afterwards. So they would have all the evidence they need. If there's no gunpowder on this man's hand, if that wound does not match what a gunshot wound should look like, how do you prosecute? There's reasonable doubt right there. It looks to me, in my opinion, or it sounds to me, and I want to finish reading all this, but it sounds to me like there was a fight in the back of that limo. She kicked her foot out that window and it got scraped up. And yeah, there might have been a gun fired, but we don't know if Tory Lanez fired that gun. And now, as we look at the motive, it looks like some kind of messy love triangle going on. Can I get a witness for the black man and his innocence? Can I get an amen? How about that? And if I can sit here and tell you about it just by looking at this and then saying, you know what, what's the problem? Why are they offering this man a deal? What does this deal involve? Okay. So the scat rappers, Tory Lanez defense lawyer, Sean Hawley, appeared in the courtroom, okay, in Los Angeles Wednesday and agreed to return with her client on December 4th for his preliminary hearing. And so, of course, this is December 18th, so the preliminary hearing probably happened already, okay? And that's why we have an uptick in news. Now, who is Tory? Who is this Tory Hawley lady? I want you to. This lady is, first of all, she's a partner in the Johnny Cochran law firm. That's who she is. She's a UCLA. She attended UCLA and Southwestern University School of Law, and she began her career as a public defender. This is his lawyer. This is the caliber attorney that she is. She eventually became the managing partner of the Cochran law firm and was a member of the O.J. Simpson legal defense team, dubbed the Dream Team. She's represented a number of celebrity clients, including Kim Kardashian, Tupac Shakur, Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, Lindsay Lohan, Trevor Bauer, and she's currently a partner at the firm Kinsella, Wiseman, Easer, Kump, and Addison, practicing in various areas of litigation. Okay, I want you to look at Sean Hawley. This is the lawyer that this young man has shown. So he's got the real deal. He's got a hard hitter. Okay. And so the DA knows who this person. This woman was a public defender. They know her reputation. This is her right here. She's serious business. That's why they're offering a deal. Because they say we might mess around and lose this case and get a whole new OJ. We done dealt with that OJ Simpson dream team before. And now we got another one. And we might lose it again. This woman right here is attorney Sean Hawley. And she is the attorney defending Tory Lanez. Do you think this sister's going to cut Megan Thee Stallion a break? You think you're going to be able to use, you don't understand what black women are going through, and understand what we have to deal with by this sister? You think Sean Hawley is going to cut her a break? No, she's going to light her up. And if there's some lies to be sorted out, the lies are going to be sorted out. She's dealt with all these superstars before. She's had big name clients before, right? So she's not going to shy away from the limelight. And so the DA recognizes that and said, well, damn, we might lose this case. This might be another strike against us. We're going to look weak out here. This is what the DA is looking at. That's why, That's why they offered him a deal. Because they're looking at who the lawyer is on the other side. Okay? The district attorney, Kate Todd, told the court she expected to put on about 90 minutes of testimony? An hour and a half? That's all you got? All you have is an hour and a half of testimony? An hour and a half? That's like what, one witness, maybe two? This is what you got? This is your big case right here? This is the best you can do? An hour and a half? I can go to the movies, come out, and they're finished with the trial. It's going to take longer to pick the jury than that. This is the case that you're putting on? Maybe what it is, folks, is the district attorney's office picked off a little bit more than they can chew. Maybe that's what happened, right? Maybe, just maybe the DA thought this was going to be a cakewalk. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they thought this is going to be easy. Maybe that's what happened. And now they're in a situation where what? Now they're in a situation where, damn, we might get our hat handed to us. We might get smoked out here in these streets. See what I'm saying? They got this lawyer. They got this Sean Hawley lawyer. We know who she is. You see what I'm saying? And whoo, it might go down. We might take a L. We might take a hard L. That's what's happening. You might take a hard L on this case. Another one. And now you end up looking like what? You just wasting everybody's time. And on top of that, you might lose. And you'll never be able to live that down. That's what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. That's why they're willing to offer that deal, family. Hit the number 1 button if you hear me. Hit the number 1 button. She puts on 90 minutes of trial. That's not a lot of testimony. That's like traffic ticket style cases. You can do that in a traffic ticket. This hearing is necessary precursor to send the matter to trial. Holly declined to comment as she left the courtroom. Holly being his attorney. It was last month that Todd told the court meaningful discussions to strike a deal were underway. Holly confirmed that talks then, but said her client's plea of not guilty stands. As in every case, the lawyers for the parties discussed the possibility of resolving the case. This case is no different. That ain't what happened all the time. The DA think they got you. Nah, they're gonna hit you with everything. That said, our position as to what did or did not happen in this matter remains unchanged. She said in a statement of Rolling Stone. Authorities say Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, shot at the feet of the Savage rapper around 4:30 a.m. on July 12, 2020, after the pair left a party and got into an argument while traveling in an SUV in Hollywood Hills. Now, was there somebody else in the car with him? Did he really shoot the gun? Is there residue on his hands? These are a lot of questions. His two pending felony charges are assault with a semi-automatic firearm and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. He also is facing the added allegation he personally inflicted great bodily injury. So what we're looking at is they're not even saying he shot her. They're saying he shot at her feet. That's what they're trying to say. So I was right earlier. That wound, that's not a gunshot wound. So everybody out here saying the Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, the district attorney is not even saying that. They're saying he shot at her foot. Clearly, the injury that she's suffering is from something else. We can speculate. We can assume that it's from maybe glass being broken or foot being cut, maybe the windshield, driver's passenger side windshield back. I don't know. But we already know that lie has been spread to the community. That lie has been spread on the internet. That's a lie. He didn't shoot her. They're saying at best he shot at her. We don't even know that. Where's the gun residue on his hands? How'd that happen? Police arrested him right after. Surely there's gun residue. So what do we find out if there's no gun residue on his hands? Huh? He didn't pull the trigger. So who else was in the car? If a gunshot went off, who else was in the car? I don't know. And now you offering a deal for somebody who shot at somebody's foot? It's pretty weak. It's pretty weak. And they also said he personally inflicted great bodily injury. It sounds bad, but was she fighting with somebody else? Was he trying to break up the fight? I mean, what great bodily injury are we talking about? She kicked the back window out and they're blaming him for that because they saying he made her do that. I don't know. Shout out to Zoe RPM. See, this is why you got to pick apart these arguments that are being presented. It doesn't smell right to me. It doesn't sound right. And if you really begin to look at this evidence, it seems like they're trying to railroad this boy like they do so many other black men. Okay? That's what it sounds like. Now, according to the prosecutor, he's facing up to 22 years and 8 months in prison if convicted as charged. That's a lot of time, man, over some foolishness. Peterson was out on $190,000 bail. He probably had to put up 10%. That's like $19,000 bail over the summer when he got in trouble with the court for violating the criminal restraining order, barring him from coming within 100 yards of Megan or harassing her in any way. They're treating this woman like she's a victim. And we don't even know. They're treating him like he's already guilty. We don't even know. I get it. It's a precautionary. You don't want any retaliation. I get it. According to prosecutors, Peterson attended the Rolling Loud Festival in Miami on July 25th and attempted to rush the stage when Megan was performing. He was later hopped on stage with the baby disguised in costume as Megan's song Cry Baby played while she was still in the venue. So this man is now trying to work, do whatever he do as a rapper, right? And guess what? And now he getting a charge for that, right? I'll give somebody out here $1 million if they can guess who is here. The baby told the crowd before Peterson revealed himself and the rappers performed together. Back in July, how do you even know who's being booked for the concert? They both hot rappers. They both got booked for the concert. She's there, he's there. What are you supposed to do? Not make the money? But this is the way this is the way it's set up. This is how the system works. You know, it's always against black men, even when they're innocent, even when they haven't been proved to do any crime, even when the physical evidence don't point as to them having done it. Shout out to Solo Dolo. Peterson recently said, so he said the violations outlined in the August 13th bail motion from prosecutors led a judge to hike Peterson's bail amount to $250,000. Peterson recently said in his next album, Alone at the Prom, which is due December 1st, he also set to perform 3 concerts in the UK next month ahead of this preliminary hearing. Back in July 2020, police said Peterson opened fire on his female victim on Nichols Canyon Road in Los Angeles. Cops didn't identify Megan by name, but the WAP rapper started posting about terrifying incident on Instagram. I was shot in both of my feet, and I had to get surgery to get the SHIT taken out. the bullets taken out. Really? Because I'm looking at the wounds. They don't look like gunshot wounds. I'm just honest. How do you know? And where are these bullets? Where's the evidence? You got shot in both feet, but you twerking a couple of days later? I don't know. I've seen what happens when people get shot in their foot, and that's not what happens. Looks like your feet was straight. I was shot in both, but she says I was shot in both feet and had to get surgery to get the SHIT taken out, get the bullets taken out. The Houston-bred entertainer, whose real legal name is Megan P, said in one video shared the shooting. It was super scary. It was like just the worst experience of my life. Thank God the bullets didn't touch bones. They didn't break tendons. She added, where the bullets hit, it missed everything. Pete declined to name Peterson as the alleged shooter for weeks, but then finally called him out. Yes, she said in another Instagram live, Tory shot me. Now, it took you weeks to say that. I want to know what the police report says. You see what I'm saying? Speaking to GQ magazine, Megan said she was trying to walk away when the violence unfolded. Of course, that's what she's gonna say. You see what I'm saying? I never put my hands on nobody. I barely even said anything to the man who shot me when I was walking away. We were literally like 5 minutes away from the house. Now, if you were walking away from the man and there were some other people with you, how do you know that he shot you? I mean, look, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see. The evidence will come out, but we'll see what really happened. Okay. Now, I want to read something else. Let me see here. Now, apparently she's upset about the coverage. Why do I have to relive this? This is an article that came out on 12/15. Of course, this is a day after the accident, a day after the hearing, preliminary hearing. Megan Thee Stallion seeing the new headlines about Tory Lanez trial regarding her alleged shooting last summer. She's not pleased with the picture that's being painted. The Savage rapper responded to how some outlets have been covering Lane's preliminary hearing on Tuesday, where Detective Ryan Stogger of the Los Angeles Police Department took the stand to testify. During the trial, the prosecution argued that Lane's real name, Daystar Peterson, fired a semi-automatic gun at the fellow rapper's feet in the wee hours of July 12, 2020, with Stogner testifying that the Alone at Prom artist shouted dance BITCH before firing. So here's the thing. This cop, Detective Ryan Stogner, he wasn't there at the time of the incident. He's basically repeating what he was told by either Megan Thee Stallion or any other witnesses that was there. He wasn't there. Now we know, and I've told you guys this before, that the LA Police Department has a reputation for being corrupt. You don't believe me? Look at the Rampart diction, the Rampart scandal. I mean, look what they did in the O.J. Simpson case. You got cops planning evidence. You got big shout out to AKS1. Thank you so much. Appreciate the $50 contribution. We want to always make sure, give a big shout out to anybody who's contributing that type, man. Big shout out. But what I'm saying is, we know that LAPD officers get on the stand and lie. You guys don't believe me? Look up Mark Furman. Mark Furman, FUHRMAN. He straight up lied on the stand. These cops are going to go with the analysis that best helps the district attorney put this boy in jail. They don't know what was said unless they were there and listening. They don't know. They only dance, BITCH. Really? Sounds real bad. But what if it's just made up? What if it's just these women saying, you know what? We in this story now. We can't back up. Because if we back up, now we look like liars. Because if you really look at it, this lovely lady, Megan Thee Stallion, she spent a considerable time afterward getting a lot of pity and a lot of publicity about being a victim. I mean, she damn near became the spokesperson for domestic violence, right? We know that, okay? And so now to have to come back off of that looks pretty damn bad to me. Shout out to my man Lucifer Rap Singer. Shout out to my man always. Appreciate you when you contribute, man. I got to make sure I'm going to have to come up with a special something for my man there. But you also contribute to the super chat. I mean, the cash app. My man said, sounding real. Vincent Purdell says, sounding really Smollettish. Yeah, right? The physical evidence doesn't match. The DA is trying to offer a deal. But what's really going on here? That's the thing. What's really going on here in this situation? Right? Let's look at that. What's really happening? You know? So let's continue analyzing the reports. Okay? So the Savage rapper responded she's upset at how some of the outlets have been covering the Lanez preliminary hearing on Tuesday. Why is she upset about that? The only reason she would be upset is because facts are coming out that don't support her side of the story or her version of how it happened. That's why. If the news reports were going in on Tory Lanez, say, yeah, everything she said is true and the evidence is supporting it, blah, 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 she wouldn't have a problem with this, would she? Of course not. It's because, damn, I might get exposed for having made up some stuff. Shout out to my man Lucifer again. Thank you so much. That's what we're dealing with. It's getting uncomfortable for this young lady. But Grammy-winning MC took to Twitter on Wednesday, December 15th, to express her annoyance over having to constantly read the news about the shooting that took place over a year ago. She want to put this behind her. Why? Because it might be some information that come out. This boy didn't take the plea. It's going to be a full-blown trial. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a full-blown trial. All the truth is going to come out. And then it's going to be a problem. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a problem. Because you're not going to be able to get away from that. You can't be real if you out here snitching and lying on people, getting people locked up. You're supposed to be a down chick, right? You can't be a down-ass stripper chick who's this hot chick and then you also a snitch, right? We got a lot of sisters trying to play that role. I'm down with you. I'm down with you. Then when you do something they don't like and the police come, they go all in on you, making up stuff even. We've seen that happen. Right? And now listen, let's read what she said. She continued, like, I've been shot. And the focus on some of these headlines are dismissing that I was attacked with a weapon while I was unarmed and trying to paint it as a cat fight between friends. Why do I have to relive this with everyone on the internet every day? So now the cat fight. This is not a fight between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. When you say cat fight, what she's talking about is some of these news reports are saying you and your homegirl had gotten into a fight. It was you and your homegirl that had gotten into a fight. A cat fight. That's what cat fight means. It means the fight between two women. And so now that truth is beginning to come out. Maybe what we're going to find out is that if a gun was used, it was this other participant, this other cat in this cat fight that pulled the trigger and shot you in your back or tried to shoot at you and said, dance, B-I-T-C-H. Maybe that's what we're going to find out. Maybe, and we can only speculate, maybe what we'll find out is that you were sleeping around with Tory Lanez while he was dating this other woman, and then she found out and she got mad at you, as like lovely ladies will do, and decided she wanted to fight you in the back of the limo. And then you end up fighting the girl and your foot kicked, or some kind of way you end up kicking out a glass window or something like that, right? And cut your feet. But then in a situation like that, you couldn't come clean with what happened, right? In this cat fight. You had to blame the black dude, which is what the news media does all the time. Blame the nearest black dude. And then what? Tory Lanez, he took that convenient L, but what you didn't anticipate was the police and the district attorney was going to take it this far. You thought this thing was going to be over. You thought it was something minor. But the DA is trying to make an example out of Tory Lanez, and Tory Lanez apparently is, him and his lawyer are apparently not having it. They're not going out like that. And so now you got to deal with the consequences. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. We're going to see. So let's continue reading, right? Let's continue reading. And again, we already talked about Tory Lanez is not taking the deal. He ain't going for it, right? So here's another guy, Whack 100. He's a rapper. Not a rapper. You guys know Whack 100. He manages Blueface and The Game. And what is he saying? He's saying the same thing I'm saying. On the Clubhouse, The Game's manager, Whack 100, gave his perspective on the night in question. Whack 100 was not present on the night of the shooting. He said, let's really do the math. Some of the strongest bones in our body is in our foot, right? If you take a bullet to that foot and break them bones, you are not walking backwards with your hands in the air, which is what we saw Megan Thee Stallion do on camera. You're not walking right afterwards. He says it's not happening. It's not going to effing happen. You're going to lay down, man or woman, and you're going to scream like an MFer, he said. He added that it would be impossible for her to be twerking on stage a few weeks later, even though he was not there for the incident. I get that. But we can all use common sense. Anybody who's ever seen somebody get shot, we know what that does. Back and forth conversation. F you, Meg in the back seat with her homegirl. Let's analyze it. Even though he was not there for the incident. Okay? Let's read it. Back and forth conversation. F you, Meg in the back seat. I want to blow this up so y'all can read this along with me. I'm going to put it on the big screen. Let's read this alleged conversation. Back and forth conversation. F you, Meg in the back seat with her homegirl, who's no longer her homegirl. Pull this MFing car over. F that. I'm pulling the car over. Lean back, kicking that window. Now we talking. Now we got the glass cut in the foot, he adds. Tory ain't fired no shot. When them MFers be high and drunk and all of that on top of the SHIT, the MFers just rambling off at the mouth. We've all been in these situations. You hear MFing shot, man, you don't know where the shot came from. Half the time, you don't got to have a general idea of it in your head. Where you think the shot came from, right? One thing I do know is that I have not seen the gunshot residue test mentioned. The GSR ain't going nowhere unless you use urine or milk. What is he saying? What is he saying? What he's saying is, all y'all drunk and high, you get in an argument with your homegirl in the back seat. You decide to let me out this car. How many of y'all know how our lovely ladies get? Huh? Let me out this MFing car and start kicking on windows and kick the window out. You mad? And now the police roll up, and what do? You start blaming him. You blaming him, and now you can't come down off of that you can't come back off of that lie you made, that story. We'll call it a story because Uncle D don't want to get sued, right? You can't come back off that alleged story that you told. And so now you all in it. Now you got these white women rolling up on you. That's right, girl. You're the face of domestic violence. We're standing behind you, girl. And now you all in. You like, damn, I can't even back up off this conversation. I can't quietly make this thing go away. It's just got too big now. You know what I'm saying? So she can't slide out of it. That's why she uncomfortable. Bless her heart. She want this thing to go away. Shout out to W. Alfonso. Loose for wrestling. A peace is a lie. My man Aaron Wells says, what? Great breakdown on the subject. Get shot in the foot. Even with a 22, man, if you get shot with a slingshot in the foot, much less a 9mm Glock, pow, close range. Oh my God, you're not walking away from that. You're not walking back to. You're gonna lay down. You're gonna lay all the way down, and you're gonna have to do some months of rehab. Period. And on top of that, there's gonna be what? There's gotta be some kind of residue on the hand. Where's the residue test at? What we doing here? So this is what we looking at, family. This is what we dealing with. It's another black. It don't seem right to me, brothers. The facts don't add up to me. You got the district attorney. You got this bulldog of a defense attorney barreling down on the DA. The DA looking like, we might have got into something we shouldn't have. They looking at the witnesses. Well, who are our witnesses? Megan Thee Stallion and her homegirl. And they look shaky themselves. So the DA is like, well, let's see if we can get him to take a deal. Because we don't want to go to court with these two. But damn, we done got too deep in it. And they got this bulldog who's going to fish this whole story out, who's not going to back down, who got the money. This ain't some defense attorney fresh out of law school. This is one of Johnny Cochran's people. Y'all remember Johnny Cochran? He whooped our butt 25 years ago. You know him. So we about to catch that smoke. We about to catch this fade, as they say in California. We about to catch this hand. And who is our witnesses again? Megan Thee Stallion and who? The WAP girl and her homegirl who was in a fight. This is who our reputations are relying on. Our little lawyer reputations. We trying to get reelected and become judges in politics. This is who, and they might have been high off whatever. They could have been drunk. They wasn't even in the right state of mind. And all we can do is rely on what this detective is saying. And the detective is relying on what Megan Thee Stallion and her homegirl was saying at the scene of the crime when they was mad. Damn, this is what we relying on. This is what our reputation is gonna go in on, man. Chris Darden never lived that down. Chris Darden never lived that down. Chris Darden, you say his name right now in the black community, people sucker, and that's my frat brother. Sucker, you lost. You'll never live that down. So this is what we're looking at. Now, I want to try something else with you guys. This is going to be painful. This transition is going to be painful. This is something a little closer to home. We prove that these lovely ladies lie. We prove that sometimes these stories don't make sense. Haven't we? We've proved that black men make easy targets. Haven't we? Now I'm going to give y'all something else that just popped off here in H-Town. It's going to be hard for some of you guys to go with me on this. Hit the number 1 button. Let me know you're here. Also, this is very important. Very, very important. Extremely, extremely important. Public service announcement. I am being shadow banned by YouTube. There's no doubt about it. I already know. I have 16,600 followers, more or less. And I probably should have at least 20, 30, maybe 40 by now, as much work as I do. But because my subscribers are unsubscribed after you subscribe, I don't know how many subscribers I should have had. But they subscribe. For every person that subscribes to me, they might unsubscribe 5 or 10 people. So I need you guys to subscribe to my channel right now. Even if you've already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. In addition to that, check in. Where you from? What city you from? What town? What's your neighborhood? Check in. Let me know. I need you to keep the chat room popping at all times. And also, hit the thumbs up button. I try to give you an analysis that you can use. I try to give you facts. I try to analyze the facts without emotion. I try to look at it. I try to give you evidence that will be presented in the courtroom. Because why? Because whether you like it or not, the judicial system that we have in the United States is better than Saudi Arabia. It's better than China. It's better than some of the stuff you'll get in places like Colombia. It's better than Russia. I can probably pick about another 150 countries that our judicial system is better than. And so by me presenting you evidence that can be proved up or disproved in the way I'm doing it, it gives you facts. And you're going to see, and as long as I follow that line, which kind of mimics what's going to happen in the courtroom, you guys will be right in your determination. And you're not going to get that everywhere. You're not going to get this level of breakdown on any case, especially something that's relatable. You can relate to this. Y'all understand Tory Lanez? You got in a fight with your girl because you sleeping with her best friend, and then y'all all together, and then she get in a fight with her best friend, and then they both do what women do, team up on your black behind. Well, it happens all the time. Your baby mama and your new girlfriend get together on you because they both mad at you because, you know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. That's what seemed to happen to Tory Lanez. But it's some ghetto fabulous foolishness that happens every day of the week in the ghetto. But what? It's gotten gone too far. This wasn't supposed to happen like that. They supposed to have a little fight. Megan Thee Stallion was supposed to get out the car. He was supposed to say, girl, get back in this goddamn car. Let's go. And they was supposed to go on about their business. Nothing never had been heard about at all. But it didn't happen like that. The white people got hold of it. The police pulled up. And now it's a big deal. And Meg is stuck in Megan Thee Stallion is stuck in a situation where she can't back down because now she looked what? She looked fake. She looked like a liar. She's not real. She got all these rappers and all these people supporting, all these white feminists supporting her, and she looks like the victim, and she got all the attention, and now she gonna look fake. And that's the last thing a real chick wants to look like. You don't want to be a real hot girl doing real hot girl shit, and then be turned out to be a fake. That's what we're looking at. So careers and reputations on the line. She got plenty more money to be made. But in this situation, if it turns out, if the facts bear out, she lied on this man, then how you gonna look at Megan Thee Stallion? You gonna look at the same way you look at Cardi B when you found out she was robbing and jacking black dudes, taking their money. You gonna look at her the same way, sideways. It's not gonna be the same. She's not gonna be fun anymore, is she? Nah. Now, would we even care if this was some regular dude who'd been lied on? No, we forgot about the story by now. He wouldn't have the money to hire one of Johnny Cochran's lawyers from back in the day, and then he would have took a plea and get on about his business because he's looking at 22 years. He would cop the plea. He did. I can't do it. He wouldn't have had the money or the time to deal with it. He'd have took the plea and it'd have been over with. But this ain't Megan Thee Stallion. This is Tory Lanez, up and coming rapper, man with some money, and he got money to pay for proper defense, a proper lawyer. He's got who? Got a good lawyer, former Dream Team member. It's a problem. It's a problem. And at this time that we're in right now, woo, you don't want to go back. We are in cancel culture. People are looking for reasons to cancel people. Shout out to my man Lucifer Ratzman. He said she has gotten a lot of money out of those white hate man groups, right, for selling Tory Lanez out. Just like many of our lovely ladies. They've gotten a lot of money for selling black men out, and Megan Thee Stallion is no different. So what's going to happen now? if these allegations that she made don't bear out to be accurate, what's going to happen to her reputation? The reputation is everything. What's going to happen? Well, I want to talk to you guys about another situation. What happens to the regular black man when he's lied on? What happens, fellas? What happened when your baby mama said you hit her? Huh? What happened when your baby mama said you did something, you abused the children, or your wife says you sexually assaulted the kids? What happened to you? Your reputation is shot. Even if it ain't true, you never live it down. Am I lying or am I telling the truth? So I want to talk to you guys about this story. Hit the number 1 button. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Keep contributing to the super chat. This is another example. I want to talk to you guys about stories that don't seem to add up. Now, HPD, Houston man arrested after allegedly killing his ex-wife and dismembering her body. Didn't we just see this last week? That brother up in Baltimore? Huh? We saw that. Killed his baby mama, killed his ex-wife. Remember that guy popped and then self-deleted himself? Remember that? Didn't this just happen last week? What did she say? The ex-wife, alleged that he had molested his children. And so what did he do? He popped the baby mama because the baby mama said what? The dude's name was Jay Black. Baby mama said what? I'm not going to let you see your kids. And that reminded him what his ex-wife did. So what did he do? He put one in the middle of her head, or wherever he put it, he shot her in the head. And then he went what? He went over there to his ex-wife's house and popped her out. I call it the Up and Smoke tour. Check out the video. It's here. It's on adult content. But bottom line is, we don't know what happened, but the allegations were from the ex-wife that he molested his children. That's a death knell to any man in his career. We don't know what happened, but he sure did not like that. He sure did take that pretty damn personal. But we know what those allegations do. Okay? So my question is, we don't know what happened. But it seems to me like he has some strong feelings that the man truly molested his child. He was a horrible person. But what if the woman lied? What if the baby mama lied on him because the family law lawyers either coaxed her to do it or turned the other way when she did lie? And they knew that would give them this supreme advantage in the custody battle that he'd been involved in with his ex-wife for 3 years. That would give her the supreme advantage in the custody proceedings. More money, supervised visitation, 100% custody instead of joint custody, which translates to more money. A man who's making $200,000. She wants all the money she can get. She's entitled up to 25% of his income. You would lie if it meant getting a total of $50,000. You would lie. Some of y'all will lie for $5,000. This woman is looking at 25% of his income if she can get maximum amount of money, because most courts allow 25% of the man's disposable income. And if his income is $200,000 more or less, that's about 50 G's. So if she gets an extra 50 G's every month, and all she has to do is get 100% custody of these children. And all I got to do is say what? He molested the kids. Ain't nothing going to happen to me. If it proves that he didn't do it, oh well. But he might quit. He might say, you know what? I'm not going to look. You just keep the kids. Like a lot of men do. Because you can't never live that down. Because what's to say you proved that she lied, and then 2 or 3 years down the road, she said, oh, you molested the kids again. Now it's 2 allegations of that. So you don't know what these kids. So basically, taking these kids is like having a Trojan horse. At any time, this woman can lie on you and say you sexually assaulted the kids. Same thing with being in a relationship with a woman. He did DV. Domestic violence. Or abuse the kids. Anytime these women can say these things. And now, even if it's totally false, you're stuck with trying to live that down. Period. And what happens? The more out of times this woman makes this allegations, what? The more people are apt to believe it. Because what? Especially if you're a black man, right? We know that. Because there's always stereotypes and negativity that goes along with being black men. You're already violent, this, that, and that. So now let's move forward to this case. And we just talked about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. Something about that story doesn't add up. Did it? Did it? Something about that story didn't add up, right? It's just physical evidence. It just doesn't match. The motives just don't match to me. So here's a situation. HPD, and I'm gonna have to click out and click back on. Let me see if I can click out here. I don't know this man. I don't know these people. I just ran across this case and I wanted to talk about it. This is something that recently happened. This came out December 17th. This is yesterday. But remember, we talked about the same sort of scenario last week in that Baltimore case. I want y'all to read this along with me. HPD, Houston Police Department. Houston man arrested after allegedly killing his ex-wife and dismembering her body. Houston police say Keisha Preston, 41, was last seen the day before Thanksgiving. She allegedly caught Sean Preston sexually abusing a child before her death. Right? This is what she said happened. She allegedly caught her husband or ex-husband sexually abusing a child before the death. We don't know what child it was. We don't know where the child was. We don't know when it happened. But this is what this woman, Keisha, said she caught Sean doing. Now, were there any other witnesses? According to this article, she was the only witness. A Houston man is behind bars charged with a horrific crime. Houston police say Sean Preston killed his ex-wife after she allegedly caught him in the act of sexually abusing a child. What child was it? I don't know. Was it his child? I don't know. But she's the witness. How did the ex-wife catch him doing it? That's the question. I don't know. I don't know. Why is she even around him if she's the ex-wife? Keisha Preston, 41, was last seen the day before Thanksgiving and is still missing. Police have surveillance video from this motel showing her walking into a room with her ex-husband and never coming out. Why was she going into a motel with her ex-husband? If it's her ex-husband, they going into a motel room? What were they going there to do? Why was she messing around with this? I don't get it. The facts already don't make sense to me. So let me get this straight. You are the only witness. You have alleged that your ex-husband molested some child, and then you enter into a motel, not even a hotel, a motel with him right before Thanksgiving. What are y'all going to do? What kind of relationship did y'all have? My condolences to the family. I don't know what happened, but I'm trying to understand what's going on here. Just remember, she was a loving woman. This is her mother. And of course, this is what her mother's supposed to say. And my condolences to the family. I don't know what happened. It's hard for Blakes to make sense of what happened to her daughter. That's unbelievable. I birthed that girl for 9 months, she said. Houston police have arrested and charged Sean Preston with murder. The couple shares 3 kids, and according to court records, Preston had a history of domestic violence. So he had a history of domestic violence. Does that mean that you alleged that he was violent? Or is there some sort of criminal record? I don't know. But if it's domestic violence, is it the ex-wife who was going into a whole motel room with him that said it after they got divorced? Until it hits you, nobody knows. Nobody knows. They keep focusing on the mom. Like, we get it. They want you to empathize with this woman, but the facts really are odd here. You know, according to a search warrant, police believe Preston drove Keisha. So Preston drove his ex-wife to a motel to the Motel King off Highway 59 in Lower Cop in North Houston on November 24th. They believe that that's where he killed her and dismembered her body. So you still messing around with your ex-husband after he allegedly committed DV against you, and you saw him molesting a child, and you still going to a motel with this man? Maybe y'all were going there to play Monopoly. But that's not typically why people go to motels. I don't know. I'm just saying, if this man was so bad and so heinous, why are you even dealing with him on that level? And you've lied. I mean, you've made these statements about him. Maybe you made those statements to gain an advantage. Maybe you don't even believe that. Maybe you know what you said is not true. Maybe you know he's not a molester. Maybe you know you just made that up out of whole cloth. Maybe you made up the fact that he was a domestic violent DV, a person who committed DV, so you can gain an advantage in a custody proceeding. Or maybe you just did it because it allows you to garner sympathy. But what doesn't make sense is for you to have alleged all that and then end up in a motel room with him the day before Thanksgiving, where he apparently downed this woman, where he apparently murdered this woman. I'm not justifying the murder at all. I'm just saying the facts don't add up. Maybe maybe this woman, like so many, is used to making these statements up and lying on men, and she just went too far. And now you've gone so far that you can't bring it back. And maybe this is what happened with the Megan Thee Stallion situation. Maybe she went so far and then the white folks got hold of it. And now you can't undo what you've done. And now you're stuck in it. Investigators say he's seen a surveillance video leaving, making several trips to his car with bags, including a large duffel bag of a suitcase. So he cut the woman up. Apparently he's guilty. I mean, evidence shows that he's guilty. He's a murderer. He might get death. A witness told police Preston called him asking for acid and a throwdown vehicle. I don't know what a throwdown vehicle is. Maybe that's a vehicle you can get rid of, throw it down in the gutter, a ditch, a swamp. I don't know. He was asking. He clearly killed a woman. Well, according to evidence, allegedly, it looks like he did. However, court records show the couple's story gets even more complicated. I don't know how you get more complicated than that. Documents show that Keisha was the sole witness in a sexual assault of the child case where her ex-husband was a suspect. So she's the sole witness. Is there any evidence of this before? So you're the sole witness? In fact, records show he was interviewed about the case just 9 days before Keisha disappeared. So what happened was she apparently reported this to the police officers. They then called him in to verify what was said. Found out that they didn't have enough evidence to prove what she said, which is why they didn't arrest him on the spot. Because typically what happens, y'all have seen First 48. You know what happens. They don't have enough evidence, so what do? They call you in, they give you that Subway sandwich and that Coca-Cola and that cigarette, and then you tell them everything that happened. Right? Right? And now they put you under arrest because now they've corroborated they've corroborated the witness's testimony, and they have your admission that you did. And so they arrest you. But apparently what happened was the cops didn't believe this woman. And so they had to get him in there to give a statement, which he apparently did. And 9 days later, he ends up killing his ex-wife. But if they had enough evidence to arrest him for sexual assault of a minor or child molestation, he'd have been locked up. Period. They'd have locked him up. They had names, date, who it was, age. They would have arrested him. Period. It would have been over. But she apparently reported him. He then received a call from the investigating officer, then went down to clear his name or testify. I don't know if he had a lawyer or not. The article doesn't indicate that. But bottom line is they didn't have enough evidence. So they didn't arrest him. Documents show Keisha was, and she was the sole witness in a sexual assault of a child case where her ex-husband was a suspect. She was the sole witness. How are they even around each other? Is this something from years back? Is this something recent? Did she just decide to go in? I'm gonna say you sexually assault, and then she just went in? Is that what we're looking at? But even when you did that, 9 days later, you decide to go to a hotel room with your ex-husband. Maybe what happened was she reported it. The cops took her report, and he never told her that they called him in and he testified or he gave his statement. And then so he now ends up in the motel room with her, and she don't know that he know that she has went and told the police on him, and that's why she went down. That's the best, because why would you ever go to a motel room with somebody that you just said they molested, sexually assaulted some child, and you've told the police and you know they know? You just setting yourself up to get hit in the head with something. That's the only thing. That's the only way this makes sense. She didn't think they did anything about it, and so maybe she had an ongoing relationship with her ex-husband. Maybe they was messing around. Maybe she got, and that leads me to believe maybe he was messing around with her and somebody else, and then she got mad about it, and she decided to use some information or some old information or maybe some false information to try to exercise some control over him or punish him for doing something that she didn't want him doing, i.e. whatever, but messing around with another woman, not giving her, not buying her Thanksgiving Day turkey. I don't know. But this also seems odd. He is not by any means justified in murdering this woman. And by no means am I saying he's justified in murdering this woman. But what if we come to find out she lied on this man and said he sexually assaulted a child, and then call the police to try to get him in trouble, and she lied? And now he's having to deal with the ramifications of that. It won't be the first time today that I discuss where the facts tend to point to the notion that a woman has lied on a man about something heinous. We just talked about that in the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation. This is not something that's unheard of. Today's the day. That's what he said. In fact, reports show he was interviewed about the case just 9 days before Keisha disappeared. For a man thinking he living a lavish life of money to take her life, God is in control. He's going to have to answer to him. No, God has nothing to do with this. And I know the mother's sad, but if your daughter lied on this man and he ended up taking her life for that, I'm not justifying him taking her life, but she's still responsible for her sin. Right? In the Bible, that Bible you talk about, is no sin is greater than another. Lying on somebody about something as heinous as sexual assault of a child, that's a sin too, right? Bearing false witness. That's not greater than murder. So, the Lord is looking at both of them and weighing both of their sins. You apparently, and what it seems to me, is that this story is not painting this woman as totally innocent. Same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. I'm looking at the facts. They don't add up. That's all I'm saying. While Preston sits behind bars, his mom prays his daughter's body will be found. A daughter she wants the chance to give a proper funeral and say goodbye to. And I understand that. I understand the mother's pain. Okay? I get that. Somebody, Three Kings, said, Mr. Spurling, you're sick. No, I'm being an attorney. And I'm pointing out that there are holes in this statement. That's all I'm doing. You have a problem with that? What's your problem with that? If this person is so bad, they've sexually assaulted a child, and you still messing around with them, and you go into the motel with them, what does that say about you? You messing around with this person, knowing that the caliber person this is, what does that say about you? Since we pass in judgment, I'm just asking. But these facts don't really add up to me. Somebody wants to come in. Who wants to come in? You guys want to come in? Y'all want to talk about this? Let me know. Who wants to talk about? Who wants to come in and tell me I'm wrong? I want to hear y'all tell me I'm wrong. I want to hear people tell me I'm wrong for pointing out that this Tory Lanez story and this story here don't make sense. It doesn't add up. It doesn't sound like what a reasonable person would do. The facts. See, and this is what I get for defending black men. See, this is what I get for defending black men. Now, a white boy can shoot 3 people on video and he can be declared a king. He can be declared a hero. Right? He can bring the AR-15, and despite what you think about him defending himself, a white boy can bring the AR-15 to a peace rally and shoot 2 people dead and kill another, and he be a king. That's what a white boy can do. Right? But me telling you that Tory Lanez, it doesn't look like he pulled that trigger to me. It doesn't look like that's a gunshot on that woman's foot. It looks like the DA has put some trumped up charges on him to try to make an example of him, and now they have to work, and now they have to push back. I can't say that, because that makes me what? As Three Kings said, that makes me sick for being a defense attorney for black men, for being an advocate for black men. I can say that I can't say that this black man was so angry at these allegations made by his ex-wife, who he probably apparently was still messing around with. I can't say he got so angry that he downed her. He murdered her out of anger because of what she said, which he believes is a lie. Apparently, I can't defend this black. I can't say, hey, you know what? You're wrong for what you did, but I understand why you did. I understand the motivation. See, I can't defend black men. They don't want anybody defending you black men. They don't want nobody defending you black men, but they will defend a lovely lady when she lies. Straight up lies. And I'm not saying Megan Thee Stallion lied. I'm not saying that this woman who recently was killed by her ex-husband lied. I'm just saying I've seen, and you all have seen, where lovely ladies have lied. They've lied under oath. They've lied to the courts. They've gotten black men put in jail. They've had your baby mama has lied on you and said you hit her when you didn't. Your baby mama, some of you guys have gotten some RAPE charges for women saying y'all had sex against her will and turned to find out she lying. Some of you black men have dealt with that. Some of you brothers have had people lie on you, and people tend to believe it because you're a black man. That's all I'm saying. So when you have somebody like me who's willing to say, whoa, long, let's pump the brakes here. Let's look at this from the facts. Let's not pay attention to the color of this man's skin. Let's look at the facts. And when a man like me points out that the facts don't add up, then I'm a bad guy, especially if that person is a black man. That's what I have to deal with. The link is in the chat room. I love to hear what you all have to say. Come on in. Let's talk about it. I'll run a few commercials. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button. We have 170 people. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button also. We'll run a couple of commercials and we'll be right back. But don't get mad at me for defending black men. Y'all defend everybody else. Everybody else gets advocates. Why the black man can't have an advocate? Wouldn't you want somebody advocating on behalf of you? Huh? Or your son, if a lie was being told about you? I would think so. You should be happy that I'm doing this, pointing out the other side. See, the life you save may be your own.
Hi, my name is Dennis Spurling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is.
Yeah, if you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy.
No need to scream and yell like a little kid.
No,
my daddy will fight for your rights.
yeah, fight for your rights.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, returning Dennis Spurling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Spurling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
The only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Spurling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. I want you guys to thank you, Brooklyn GK. Appreciate you. I want somebody to come in and tell me why I'm wrong for pointing out the holes in these allegations. I want somebody to come in and explain to me why I'm wrong for pointing out that the motivation for whatever these crimes may have been wasn't the motivation that you was told. Maybe, just maybe, if people began to advocate for black men like everybody else has, because see, y'all was willing to...
Hi, I'm Laura with Innovative Leisures of Houston.
Y'all was willing
we want to help you feel your best as we approach summer. For more information...
Y'all was willing to go along with Megan Thee Stallion. Right? It's not a problem. Y'all were willing to go along with her. Whether she lied or not. That's all I'm pointing out. Now if it turns out that she lied, she turns out that the story that she gave to the police officers don't quite match the facts, then what are you gonna do? What's up, Yoga Live? How you doing? Unmute yourself. Anybody else who wants to come in, the link is in the chat room. What are we gonna do? Are we going to punish Megan Thee Stallion in any way for this lie? How many of you black men have been lied on by some woman? Some of your mamas have lied on you. Some of you, we ain't got help. Your girlfriends, your baby mamas, your grandmas, your auntie. You've been lied on before, haven't you? Some of you were little kids when you got lied on. You learned a long time ago that nobody wants to believe what a black man has. Hit the number 1 button. Hit the number 1 button right now. Check in. Let me know. Let me know you hear me. Let me know that you appreciate me being an advocate for black men. Let me know you appreciate for me shining light on some of these facts that make you force you to see things in a clearer way. Are we just going to continue to let this happen? Are we just going to continue to let the press and the media and our lovely ladies and even other black men go with these lies? Is that what we're going to do? Or we're going to begin to speak up as logical men and honorable men and say, hey, hold on a minute. These facts don't match. Big shout out to Universal 178. Get the likes up, y'all. Hit the like button. Check in. Where you coming from? Let me know. Yoga Live, are you there? And anybody else who wants to come in, I'm trying to get Yoga in here. I don't know what's...
Yes.
All right, what's up, brother? How you doing? I can hear you fine. Yeah, man.
Remarkable. Checking in. I want to say this on the topic. Megan Thee Stallion already was caught publicly lying when she came out on the radio station and said that her first management team was stealing from her. And then that brother that started their first record label she was with, they came out and said, no, she signed this contract. This is the contract she signed. Remember a couple months back, she was talking about she was broke and all of this, but signed that contract. But she went and lied publicly to persuade the public to feel sorry, like she was a victim, until that brother on the first record label said, no, this is legit business. Don't come out in the public and lie to try to get out of a contract. So she's already been caught publicly lying to dissuade the public for something, to look at her in a certain way like she's a victim, but this is something she was actually the aggressor. So she did it once before, and I just want to point that out, Dennis.
Okay. Now, I'm not totally familiar with that situation, but that sounds, like something that can be handled in a civil proceeding, defamation, something like that. But if that's true, and I don't know that it's true. As far as I know, this is really my first time hearing about it. These allegations as to her character and her willingness to tell the truth, or willingness for truthfulness, or her willingness to lie, is something that could be brought out as far as character evidence as to who she is. I had a case in Dallas where we were defending a man who was put in jail because he had gave his ex-wife, her last payment, her last alimony payment. He came to the door, he gave her payment, he closed the door. She didn't like that. She knocked on the door, began to throw rocks at his door. This is up in Dallas. And so when he came out and said, "What's going on?" She rushed him. He pushed her back, closed his door, locked it, went and sat down. Next thing you know, the police are at his door. And he gets arrested. People don't know where he is. He's not at work for 4 or 5 days. His boss finally gets a phone call, says, "I'm in jail." They bail him out. Now it's a year and a half later. We at trial. This is in Dallas. Come to find out, the ex-wife had a reputation for being a liar in the community. And we brought a witness in to testify as to her reputation for being a liar. And so that is the way that you would get evidence like about Megan Thee Stallion. You would basically have, I believe the name of it is 1501 Certified Entertainment, whoever that representative was, to come in. Thank you, Lucifer Rasper. I appreciate that. And you would have them say, "Well, tell us about, how do you know this woman?" "I know her in this way." "How long have you known her?" "Okay. And are you familiar with her reputation for telling the truth in the community?" Her reputation in the community for telling the truth. And then he would say, "Yeah, I am." And say, "How did you come by knowing that reputation?" "I've had dealings with her." "Can you be specific as to what happened?" I can't lead questions. I can't ask leading questions, but I can ask open-ended questions. And then he tells a story about how she did what she said she did. And then her attorney would get a chance to cross-examine that along with whatever evidence. And the jury would hear, well, that would then be properly introduced into the record, and you would understand her reputation for telling the truth in the community. And so that could go a long way as to who she is. Do I know? I don't know. But what I do know, brother, is that the evidence doesn't match the alleged crime in the so-called Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion shooting. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't match. There's something wrong with that story. You understand what I mean, bro?
Definitely.
Now, what else would you like to add to this thing, man? What about the situation in Houston with this man? Think about that, right? Did you get that story? Did you hear the rest of it? And anybody else who wants to join in, come join in the conversation. I want to hear what everybody has to say. I want to hear it. I want y'all to come in. This is it's an uncomfortable question. It's an uncomfortable statement because I'm forcing you all to see. I'm forcing y'all in your mind. I'm forcing you to take the side of a DV, a guy who's committed DV against a woman, and the guy who allegedly sexually assaulted a child. But I'm questioning whether or not those allegations are even true. And you've been taught never to question that because that's the Queen Mother Goddess simp chip in all of you men's brains. And that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip that is in your brains has told you never to question the Queen Mother Goddess, even if she's a lying scoundrel. Because even if she was a crack fiend, that Queen Mother Goddess is still a black queen. Okay? Even if she was a crack fiend, she sold sex. You watched her give blowjobs in the back of your uncle 1978 Cadillac for $5 a pop. She's still a queen, so you can't question her. So even if she's lying, you black men have been trained to do what? Never question that black queen. And that's what's wrong with you. You can't get justice like that. Link is in the chat room. I want to hear what else somebody else got to say. John Smith, much needed discussion. Women lying, shaming, and defaming men's character and reputation is perceived negatively in this. Matter of fact, didn't they say believe her? Wasn't that the theme of Me Too? Believe her? Isn't that what they said? Believe her, even when she's lying. How does that even make sense? Is she not human? Is she not subject to the same things that the rest of us human beings are? She can't lie. She can never lie. Even when she's lying, she's telling the truth. How can that be? How can half the population in a society always having a superior advantage over the other half? How do you coexist in that society? How is there not conflict and revolution in that society? How do you go forward with that? How do you convince that one side who's never believed to even ever want to interact with these women? All a woman has to do, yoga, is go to court, take her $125 and her petition for divorce and custody and child support, and say, Judge, he sexually assaulted me and my kids, and he's a batterer. And the judge, what's going to happen? Okay, everything automatically goes to, she gets the house temporarily. We want to take her. Straight up lies. You can't come within 100 feet of it. You can't see your kid. Straight up lies. All the way out loud. Oh, he had sex with me against my will. This is RAPE. But it was consensual. Y'all done had sex 5, 6, 7 times. You find out he got another girlfriend on the side. And now you want to say RAPE. He RAPE'd me. Because you want to punish him. And so now he's looking at 10 to 20 in the state penitentiary of your false allegations. And we in society just go along with that. Because why? Oh my God, it's RAPE. Oh my God. Even though she could be lying. Even though she could be lying about domestic violence, sexual. Even though you guys refuse, but especially if it's a black man. Because you know how they are. Right? Believe her. You brothers need to break those queen, mother, goddess, simp chips. You need to stop acting like suckers and simps and start seeing what your eyes can see and hearing what your ears can hear. And recognize that women are human beings just like men, and they're subject to lying and violence and everything else that men are subject to. Stop putting these women up on a pedestal. You praising and worshiping these women is going to be your downfall. They are human beings just like you. You black men are especially susceptible to manipulation because of your queen, mother, goddess, simp, chip. What do I mean by that? Y'all bunch of mama's boys have been trained to believe your mama no matter what. And half of you hate your fathers because your mother trained you to hate your fathers. So if you hate your black fathers and you looking in the mirror and you're a black man, then you hate yourself. And so that may not manifest in you doing things to yourself, but when you see another black man, you see your father. You see that black man that you hate. And so that's why you don't even believe, you can't, until I came here and pointed out this evidence and put this in your face, you still probably, you don't want to believe Tory Lanez or that other brother. You don't want to believe anybody that looks like you or looks like me. You've been trained not to. The link is in the chat room. Come on up in here and get this smoke. Where the haters at? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Come on in. The link is in the chat room. I want to hear why I'm wrong for pointing out that these lovely ladies could have possibly lied and Tory Lanez having to deal with this trial, his reputation permanently smeared. He's not going to be able to live this down, no matter what happened. And he might go to prison. Urban Eagle said, he said, you're not wrong. I thought, man, I need somebody to come in and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong for defending black men. Tell me I'm wrong. I want to hear it. I want all you black men out there who look like Tory Lanez, who look like me, who look like Idris Elba, who look like Bill Cosby, who look like what's my boy name? All the brothers that have been falsely accused of something. You look like them. That's another thing. Why would you go against me? And I'm defending you. I'm defending you and pointing out to the world on this podcast how unfair and biased society is against black men, not just the justice system, but society as a whole. And you black men have the nerve to come against me when I'm defending you. The only explanation I could have for why you would come against someone who is defending you is that you've been programmed to hate yourself. The idea that a black man would take up the time to defend other black men without without your wife, daddy, or mommy's approval, that scares you. Because now it may put the onus on you to begin to defend yourself. And you don't want to fight your own battles, black man. You expecting white Jesus to come and save you and defend you. That's what you expect. But I'm showing you that if I can defend you, you can damn sure defend yourself and other black men. I'm forcing you to pick up the sword and the shield and begin to defend yourself and protect yourself. And I'm showing you how it's done. And you've been told not to do that. You've been told that you're unworthy of being defended. That's what society has told. The society that we live in has told you that you as a black man are unworthy. And you believe it. That Queen Mother Goddess simp chip is nothing more than the psychological programming that you have had to endure from this society and your mothers and the men in your life reinforcing it, and the children and the school system and the television and the media that tells you black men that you are unworthy to even defend yourself when you're being attacked. That's what the society tells you. That's what that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip. And on top of that, it tells you that your mother, that black queen, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, they have a right to do what? Defame you, denigrate you, talk bad about you, disrespect you, emasculate you, and you have to take it because you're unworthy of defending yourself. That's what that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip. She has a right to take your children because you're an unfit father. She has a right to take your money because you don't deserve it, even though you worked hard and bust your butt for it. You don't even have a right to make decisions as to who you get to be with. You don't even get the right to determine who you get to marry, especially if it's a light-skinned woman or a woman of another ethnicity. You get shamed forever for that. That's what that queen, but she can go right on ahead and be with whoever she wants to be with because she's better than you. And you'll go along with that. That's what that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip training has told you. She's better than you. She knows better. She's smarter than you. And you go right along with it. You don't even have a right to defend yourself when you're accused of these heinous crimes. And your own brothers will turn against you. That's what that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip has programmed you to believe. That's why all of y'all jumped on that Megan Thee Stallion bandwagon when you found out what happened, even though you didn't even know all the facts. And it's only a year later that you're brave enough to even say something about it. Check my facts. I've been on this since then. And I knew it didn't sound right since then. But even without all the facts, I still jumped in and say, hey, there's another side to every story. That is what you do when that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip that's been implanted in all of our heads is suffering from a malfunction and a short circuit. And all of you brothers need to begin to learn to short circuit those Queen Mother Goddess simp chips in the back of your heads. And you need to stand up and start acting like men are supposed to. And stop letting these women punk you. And stop letting society punk you and to turn it on yourself and on your own black brothers. That's what you need to stop doing. You need to start having some courage and begin to speak up. And yeah, we may find out, and let me say this, brothers do plenty of wrong stuff. There's some brothers right now in LA and they're going ass crazy, robbing people and doing all kind of stuff. But even in that situation, I'm willing to point out the fact that the factors in the environment which they didn't create has caused for them to do what? Turn to their own resources to try to take care of themselves. Which is why you have people who maybe never committed crimes before doing all kind of criminal activities. That's why the G's and the guys in prison don't know where these folk came from. Because it's regular young boys who can't get jobs, who mama put them out, people not have, people are hungry. They're the ones out there committing them crimes. And so even in them, and I'm not telling you to be a victim of them, I'm saying defend yourself at all costs. But as a black man who defends other black men, it's incumbent upon me to even point out that, hey, even that heinous behavior has a source. Then these people are not just inherently wrong. They're in a situation that's dire like the rest of us, but they were already in a bad situation. And this whole lockdown, COVID-19, poverty, the supply shortages have made it worse. And now you're seeing them to go into these extreme measures. I still defend my brothers because that's what I do. And I know some of y'all don't like that. But in 10 or 20 years, they're going to be pointing out why it happened. And I'm going to say, yeah, you're going to say, I remember Dennis Spurling said that back in the day. He said it right when it was happening. But it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for you to accept that. Why? Because you're black men and you're not supposed to defend each other. The link is in the chat room. I want to hear what you brothers have to say. Y'all been quiet. Y'all been real quiet. So what are we going to do now from this point forward? That's the main thing. What are we going to do? I've been talking to you guys for a couple of hours now. Hit the like button. And then we're going to talk about what we're going to do moving forward. Hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. You might have subscribed at the beginning of the show and been unsubscribed at the end of the show. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And also, make sure you join the channel. I want to get my membership up. How do you become a member? Real easy. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's easy to do. Go right here to this button. Click join. Join. $4.99 a month, $19.99 a month, $49.99 a month, $99.99 a month. Easy to do. Join. It's real easy. Go right here to join. Click the button. Bam. Join the channel. But make sure you subscribe if you don't join. So, what are we gonna do now, brothers? What next time? Because there will be a next time. The next time a black man is blamed for something, the next time they flash some black man's face across the internet or your television, newspaper, next time that happens, don't be so quick to judge them. Say what the white folks say. We want to wait till all the facts come in. Next time there's some heinous allegation about black men RAPE the woman or sexually assaulted a woman or child molestation or was he involved in a custody dispute? That should be one of your first questions. Who made the allegations? Does he have a history of this before? Don't let them drive your emotions into making some irrational, not well thought out decision. You figure out, well, what's the motive behind this? The man never had an allegation of this before, and all of a sudden, during a custody dispute, now he's a domestic, he's committed domestic violence, sexual assault. You know, the whole menu of stuff that lawyers tell their female clients to say in order to gain advantage in the custody proceeding. We've seen this before. We know how this plays out. Shout out to Russell Thomas, newest member. Shout out to him. We've seen this played out before. Anytime you hear a woman making an allegation about what a man allegedly did and they're involved in a custody dispute or some type of divorce, you should be looking at that with a jaundiced eye. You should be looking at that like, hold on a minute. You the only one saying that? Now, why is it that these allegations just popped up during the custody dispute? Y'all been together for how long? And then y'all got married and then y'all had kids. And then here it is 15, 20 years later. Now all of a sudden, he's a violator. He's an assaulter all of a sudden. Now, what do you have to gain by telling this judge that he's all these different things? You get custody of the children. You got 100% visitation. You get the house, the cars. Interesting. And you're the only person that knows about this. You're the only witness. See, we can save lives if people, men, begin to realize, you know what? She can make those allegations, but people are going to give me the benefit of the doubt because they realize that we're in a custody dispute. We can save lives that way. Men won't feel like they got to take it in their hands because that's the only way they're going to get true justice. Because guess what's going to happen? If we find out that the lovely lady and recent graduate Megan Thee Stallion maybe made these allegations and they're proved to be false, nothing's going to happen to her. Really, nothing's really going to happen. She might get a little backlash like Cardi B. Brothers might be angry with her for a little while, but all she got to do is jump back out there and twerk and swing that big old booty around. And y'all are forgiven. Y'all see past it. Nothing's going to happen to her. Because she did something to a man, specifically a black man. So nothing's going to happen to her. She's not going to get locked up, Lucifer. She's not going to get locked up. I'm sorry. I was drunk. I didn't know. And some of y'all still going to believe that the justice system failed. Some of y'all still going to say he needs to be locked up. Some of y'all still gonna believe that he was wrong, even if the facts show that she lied, even if the facts don't support the allegation. No matter what, you still gonna believe. We don't know, but you still gonna believe it no matter what because you want to, because you've been taught never to take the side of a black man, never to defend a black man, never even to defend yourself. That's what's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen to her. Many of you have had people lie on you. Many of your girlfriends, many of the women you've dated, even if it's stuff like saying bad stuff about you on the internet. And what have you been told? Don't respond. It's less than manly to argue with women on the internet. She talking bad about you, saying you took her money or you a cheapskate or all up in your drawers, telling her what your sex life is like, and you can't say nothing because that's less than manly. Y'all heard that. I'm not talking about it. We ain't talking about allegations of some sort of crime. You have had women talk bad about you to your friends, to your family members, talking reckless about, saying you're not a good father, you a cheater, and you ain't did a damn thing. Hell, she might be the cheater. She might be violent. She might be the liar, the thief. But people are more apt to believe her, and you're told not to even say anything about it. That's not manly. Don't say nothing. Don't be arguing with these women. That's not manly. Shit, yards. You better learn to open your mouth and speak and defend yourself and start letting these women run roughshod over you for some false notions of chivalry. They ruining your reputation. You better learn to check them where they stand. I don't care what. She talking bad about you all up in your drawers. How many of you brothers? He ain't no good in bed. Your wife is talking bad about you in front of your family or your girlfriend. You ain't gonna say nothing? Bruh, she would be afraid to even open her mouth once I got through with her. When I got, she would be all kind of rotten fish sandwiches on a hot summer day. Okay, She would be she would never open her mouth up and talk. You want to go what? You want to get all, you want to talk about people's draws? Once you open that door, I got you. I'm going to lay you out. I'll fight you however which way you want to fight. You go high, I go low. You go low, I go lower. I'm going to fight you. You understand what I'm saying? Don't hold back. You're not doing these folk any favors. You're not doing these women any favor by cutting them a break. It's just like if you in a boxing match with a girl, she done jumped in the ring, she hitting you hard as you can, and you holding back. And she boxing you all up in your nose and face. She got the wrist wraps on and the fists, and she doing chibo on you, and you holding back. You're not doing her any favors. You making her think she can win. You actually making this young lady think that she is superior to you in fighting. Well, instead, what you should be doing is laying her ass out. My football coach once told me that if his mama put some pads on and jumped on the field, he would lay her out. He would treat her like and he would be doing her a favor because she would realize that ain't for me. When you brothers begin to check these women on their little lies, they'll stop telling these big lies. When you begin to check these women on these little lies they're spreading, oh, you blah, blah, you know how he is. Oh, he yelled at me. He took my car. What you mean? I took your goddamn car and put some gas in it, you raggedy son of a, you need to check and then leave them alone. Don't do these women. You're not doing these women or these younger women any favors by allowing them to continue to get away with this negativity and this bad behavior. We have our lovely ladies, young to old, are running, and I told you guys this last year. They're running wild. They are becoming public enemy number one. We are now at the point where black women's behavior and that includes black girls, their behavior is equal to, or their bad behavior is equal to or worse than the behavior of black boys. Who is out here fighting in these streets? Who's out here talking bad to people? Who's out here raising hell and causing trouble and setting people up for robberies? All them people running into them stores and Louis Vuitton stores and stuff like that. If you take them masks off, I promise you a good percentage of those women running up on those stores, a good percentage of those people running up in those stores are women. They're young black girls and older women boosting and robbing and stuff. Shout out to my man W. Alfonso. Check them. You could save a life by putting these women in their place, by calling them out on their lies. You could save their life, but you letting it go. So, see, you think, oh, I don't argue with these women. She lying, and you just let it go, let it go. She lying on you. She lying on your sons. She's lying on her brothers. That's a female. Don't argue with. She lying though. Why does she have some superior status and is allowed to lie and destroy people's lives just because she's a woman? That's that Queen Mother Goddess simp chip, fellas. You've been told that these lovely ladies can do no wrong. You've been told that. And like fools, you believe it. It's going to cause your demise. And it has, and it is. Them same women that you're protecting, the many of you simps are protecting, are going to be the same women that turn on you. The first ones they come for is the simps, because y'all are the closest to them. Those with the Queen Mother Goddess simp chip turned up to 100%, they the first ones that these lovely ladies come for, because you're the closest. Period. You keep on putting them up on pedestals, and they're gonna keep treating them like goddesses, and they're gonna keep treating you like peasants. Speak the truth. Be honest. Don't hold back. Be men. Be courageous. Look at facts. Don't allow people to manipulate your emotions. No matter how heinous the crime allegedly is, look at the facts first. Figure out what the motivation is for this person lying or for speaking. Stop being so quick to throw your own black brothers under the bus. Don't let your hate for your own black brother, your own black self, and your own black father become so disdainful that you willing to destroy your brother, no matter if what's being said is a lie. And you know it. That's where the self-hate is. You hate yourself because you've been taught to hate black men. Don't be so weak, brothers. Speak the truth. Be honest. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. I don't care how bad you sound. I had somebody on here tell me I'm a horrible person because I'm speaking up on behalf of, because I'm simply pointing out that this Tory Lanez story has holes in it. That this other story with this man here in Houston, there's something more to it than what we know. And maybe perhaps there was some false allegations made about him that are unsubstantiated. We'll never know. I'm asking you black men to begin to speak the truth. Call it how you see it. Stop letting these women lead you around like a bull with a ring in his nose because you're trying to please them, because you want to please your mama who was never happy with you in the first place. She mad at your father, so she treats you bad. So what do? Like a dog, you come back on with your tail between your legs and your head down, trying to lick her hand and please her after she done kicked you in the butt. That's what's happening. You constantly trying to please these women because you're trying to please that mother that was never satisfied with you, your daddy, her daddy, and will never be satisfied with any other man because she's unhappy. And so because of that, that extends out into the greater world. Always trying to make these lovely ladies happy instead of figuring out what it is God wants you to do and making God happy and then finding fulfillment in that regard. That's what it's coming from, brother. Because no sane man is going to take sides with somebody who's siding against him all the time. No normal, healthy, functioning man who has self-respect is going to allow somebody just to denigrate everybody in his class of human being, no matter what. Makes no sense. It starts and stops with you black men. You got to do better, brothers. Why wasn't there a coalition of black men who said, hold on, when this Tory Lanez thing's come on, hold on now. Hold on now. Those don't look like gunshots in her foot. Yeah, it's an allegation that she was shot at, but clearly he didn't shoot her. Those don't look like gunshots. Let's start with that. We know what gunshots look like in the black community, and that don't look like a gunshot. Hell, you can Google it. Where were the black men who said that? Hold on a minute. How many people were in that car? Hold on a minute. You saying she got up and was walking away and bagging up and been shot in the foot? Hold on a minute. You said he was dating her girlfriend and then messing around with her too, and it was a cat fight in the back? Hold on a minute. This sounds like a twisted love triangle gone wrong. Why was the black men that stood up and said that? Why did all the rappers, all these gangster rappers and all these hard dudes, yeah, man, we support you. And shit, where was the tough guys at? Where were the tough guys at? You can put a bullet, I always talk about putting bullets in black men, right? But you can't stand up to this young girl's lie? Really? This is where we at? This is where we at, black men. This is what I got to work with. These are the caliber of men that stand next to me on the fighting lines. This is who I have to work with. You too scared to stand up against a 23-year-old girl? These are the men you all are. These are the black kings. These are the black kings that I have to work with. These are the gods. These are the warriors. This is what I got standing next to me. Y'all too. If you too afraid to stand up to your own women, how are you gonna stand up to this white man that y'all say is oppressing you? You too afraid to stand up to your own women. Maybe that's why your women don't trust you and don't believe in you, because they can punk you. So if the women can punk you, they probably don't have no confidence in you being able to stand up against this big bad white man that's supposed to be our enemy like that. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about that old saying, take care of home first? What does that mean? That don't mean just pay the bills. That means get your house in order first. Your own women don't even respect you because you refuse to stand up to them. You refuse to put them in their place, which is what they want. They want you to put them in their place and say, look, you go sit down, I got this, and don't get back up until I tell you to. We need to do this as men. Maybe that's why your women don't respect you, black man, because she can punk you. And if she can punk you, she know other men can. She can't even. That's why she's standing out in front of you being the man of the black community. Because you haven't stood up. You can't even get her to sit down. You're too sensitive and cowardly to push her out the way and say, I got this, which is what she wants you to do. You can't even tell her the truth. You wonder why? Huh? You wonder why she doesn't respect you? Because she can lie to you to your face about you and you'll suck it up. And even though you know it's a goddamn lie, you willing to believe it just to keep her happy. And no woman wants some sucker ass man who's willing to do anything to keep her happy. Isn't that what y'all learn in the red pill community? Huh? Isn't that what y'all learn? Didn't they teach y'all that? Women don't like suckers. They want men with backbone who can tell them to get on get on out of here if you don't like what I'm doing and I'm better off by myself. I'm good. They didn't teach all that in the manosphere, in the black manosphere. Isn't that aren't y'all alpha males? Right? You're alpha. I don't even call myself that. But I tell you this, I'm not going to ask you to do anything I haven't already done. So the advice I'm giving you is life advice that works for me. Being men, being honest, speaking the truth, not falling back because you're trying to please some woman. Simps, suckers, weak. That's what we're looking at. That's the only reason we can allow something like this to happen. Can I get a number one in the chat room? If you feeling me, hit the number one button if you hear me. And if you truly feeling what I'm saying, you have the answer to this problem. See, the great thing about this situation, Tory Lanez and another situation with the man here in Houston, it's going to happen again. There are so many black men who are always under attack, whether it's televised or not. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen at that family reunion, the Christmas holiday, when you go over there with your grandma and your mama in them house and your big mama in them house. Somebody going to accuse somebody of something. It might be your uncle, your cousin. They're going to say how he ain't this and he ain't that and what he did in 78. And you're going to be expected to go along and get along with that because he's a black man and you're not supposed to defend him. Now, what's going to happen if you decide to turn around and defend Uncle Ernest and say, you know what? Uncle Ernest worked real hard at the plant all them years. It seemed to me like y'all just ungrateful. How about that? What is your auntie and them going to say? They're going to whip around and look at you like that? What you been doing? And they're going to come for you. Because you didn't co-sign with them on that foolishness. It's letting them know, you know what? We got to adjust his queen mother goddess simp chip. Who does he think he is defending Uncle Ernest like that? Saying Uncle Ernest worked hard. Oh, heaven forbid you say granddaddy paid for this house. Why y'all keep calling this big mama house? And this house is paid for by granddaddy. And granddaddy used to sit in the corner all them years. All he ever asked for was a little plate of food. And y'all used to treat him bad and talk bad to him. This is my granddaddy house. Granddaddy paid for this house. Grandma didn't do nothing but sit at home and cook and make babies and complain about what granddaddy wasn't doing. He worked every day, 12, 16 hours a day for years to put food on this table, to build his house, to raise all these kids. And y'all always calling this grandma house, a big mama house. This is my granddaddy house. And y'all didn't treat him right when he was alive. And now y'all constantly disrespecting him while he's dead. I ain't going for it. What about that? Boy, they're going to look at you sideways. They're going to say, but it starts there. It the next time you see your little cousins or your nieces and your nephews going at it, and they say, look, leave little Keisha alone. She's a girl. Let her have her way. And she hitting him upside the head. Look, Keon, don't hit Keisha. She a girl. What do you say? Hold on a minute. Keisha hit too hard. Why don't y'all control Keisha? Keisha the one that always sparking something up with Keon. You see, he littler than he is. She always talk about him, call him big peanut head and stuff like that. And then when he finally fight back and defend himself, y'all make it seem like he did something wrong. He's supposed to defend himself. Boy, you gonna have a fight in that house. Yeah. I don't know what you been doing. Yeah, but that's where it starts, brothers. Speak up for other black men. Speak up for yourself. I don't care how bad the allegations look. I don't care. See, here's what you hear. Trust this. Trust this. And I want y'all to listen to me carefully. I'm gonna dedicate this to Lucifer Ratzinger because he's always been contributing to super chats and solo dolo. But Lucifer Rat, he always got my back. I want y'all to hear this bit of information. Okay? The black community is so toxic. Our socialization is so toxic and so bad that anytime you go against a norm that's accepted in the black community, you're probably right. Did you understand that? Let me say it again. Because the black community and society, or black society, is so warped, anytime you go against what's an accepted norm in the black community, you're probably doing something that is functional and normal as opposed to dysfunctional. When you go along with the status quo in the black community, more likely than not, you're going along with dysfunction. So if you begin to put these little girls in their place and these grown women in their place about talking bad about black men, that's probably something that's a healthy exercise for you to do. So don't be afraid to put when you're going against the norms, you're going to get pushback from the lovely ladies and the simps and the suckers and the other black dudes in your family. Oh, they young. Because there ain't no simp like an old simp, right? So when you begin to push back against that dysfunction, you're going to get pushback from the dysfunctional who's used to that social status, how it is, period. So it's okay to go against it. Don't no longer allow these lovely ladies to talk reckless and lie on black men. Don't allow that to happen anymore. Say something. Be part of the change that you're looking for. If you can't begin to take over and control your own household, brothers, if you're not man enough to stand up and speak the truth in your own household to your own women, then you're not ready for this war. You're not ready to reclaim your reputation and be men amongst the other men in the world. They're not having these problems. They're not having these problems. You're not considered a real man until you have control of your own house and your own community, your own neighborhood. You brothers can't even control your own house. How you gonna control your community? Huh? You gonna be punks and simps at the house and then be the men of the community? That's not how that works. You be men. You start with speaking the truth. That's all I'm asking you. Speak the truth. A lot of these issues that we have in the black community is because you brothers are so willing to sit by and say nothing just to try to get along. Because you don't want that smoke from them women. You don't want to hear what they got to say. Oh, I don't want to hear. You know how these women are. You know how these lovely ladies are. I don't want to hear. That makes you a coward and a punk. That's why they said, well, if I can do this, I can do this. They go bigger and bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, you just getting talked about in the community. Now you're what? You're deadbeat daddies, which ain't true. You're batterers, which ain't true. You're not good workmen. They just been lying and lying and lying for 40, 50, 60 years now. This is what happened when you don't lie, when you don't check them on their lies and put them in place. Now, some of you brothers who ain't 20, 30 years old, you walked into a reputation that you didn't even earn. Some of y'all don't even have kids. How can 51% of a population of men be unmarried and not have kids, but still carry the reputation for the whole of society of being deadbeat daddies and unmarried? Deadbeat daddies and no, but half of y'all ain't, over half of y'all not in, 31% of you are married and live with your wives. That's 82% more or less. And so that means only about 18 to 20% of of black men are have children and aren't married. So it's only them folks that can't be. It's only that group, that small group, that can be the deadbeat daddies. But for some reason, we've allowed these lovely ladies to tarnish our reputation and make it seem like all of us are deadbeat daddies, not worth being married to, no good scoundrels, violent, uneducated. And all that is untrue. It's because we've allowed that to go unchecked. That's why. And that's what I'm here to change. And that leads to other things. You just an old kicking mule. You just an old dog that anybody can kick on. That's why anybody, they saw the what? Black women blaming you black men for everything. So now the rest of society, well, we just gonna blame black men for everything. That's what you've allowed to happen, brothers. And it's not gonna change. White Jesus is not gonna come down and change that. I don't care how many religions you get. You can be a Muslim, black Muslim, what's the other one? Christian, the Host of Fire, Baptist Church, whatever it is. What's the other one? Damn it, I can't believe I can't remember. The Jews, the Hebrew Israelite, all of that. Nothing's gonna change until you begin to be men and begin to speak up for yourselves and speak the truth. See, as long as you got a heart full of lies, God can't live there. The devil and God can't live in the same house and can't live in the same temple. You allow yourself to be infested and surrounded by lies. And you go right along with it. And them lies, many of them lies are put upon you by your mothers and your aunties and your daughters even and your grandmothers. And you live in those lies. And you're afraid to speak the truth. You're afraid to even speak up for yourself. None of that religion is going to save you. You traded a white Jesus for a black Messiah. Both of them told you to be a simp. Both of them told you to turn the other cheek and be a sucker, as opposed to being a man and standing up for yourself and speaking the truth on behalf of yourself, your sons, your fathers, your uncles, your cousins, and all the men that came before you and after. You're not standing up. You're not speaking the truth. You're never going to get justice. I'm an advocate for you because I speak the truth. I'm willing to speak the truth for you, but you have to be willing to speak the truth for yourself. Don't jump on the bandwagon the next time a Tory Lanez situation happens. Don't jump on the bandwagon the next time a Chris Brown situation happens. Don't be so quick to lynch your own black brother. Don't be so quick to do that, because see, the next time it could be you, and in fact, he is you. He is a representation of you. And they said, look at how we can get these suckers to turn on each other. We get these black men to believe these cockamamie stories. As if Rihanna wasn't going upside Chris Brown's head and trying to bite the hell out of him before he pushed her up off him, smacked her up off of him. Like that didn't happen. Like y'all don't know what young people do. Some of y'all been fighting with your girlfriends last night. Y'all know what the hell they do. 50% of these DV situations are instigated by women. Y'all know what the hell happened. You got some of these self-righteous, entitled women that think they can do anything and everything to you and lie on you and do whatever you want and treat you like you a goddamn punching bag and get away with it. You can't do nothing in return. You know what the hell happens. We know them. They're not perfect. They're human beings just like the rest of us. But see, because you're suckers and because you're simps and because you're afraid of those women, because you want to please them like you want to please your mommy, who never liked your black behind in the first place because she was mad at your daddy, you just go along to get along. That's what you do. And we end up losing as men. We've got another generation of black men. You can't expect no reprieve, no shelter from their own brothers and fathers. Period. So I'm asking you brothers to do one thing. I'm asking you to begin to speak up. I'm asking you to begin to wait and not jump on the bandwagon when you see this society Even if the lynch mob is being led by black women, stop jumping on the bandwagon to lynch other black men. You don't know the full story. You know that you've been lied on. You know that the women closest to you have lied on you. Your daughters may have lied on you. He hit me. Next thing, you got CPS out here, 16-year-old daughter. She want to go out there and smoke cigarettes and weed and hang out and party. So what she got to do, she got to get you out the house. So he hit me, or he sexually assaulted. Now CPS is putting you out your own house. And your wife got to go along with it, or your girlfriend, or whoever. And you still paying the bills. Or your baby mama did the same thing to you, so she can get a restraining order, so she can keep the kids and get more child support. The women closest to you lying about you. But yet and still, when you see another black man being castigated and demonized in public, you quick to believe what the women around him have said. Well, that's his mom. Well, why would his wife lie? Why would his baby mama lie? Why would his daughter lie? You quick to believe what they have to say about other black men, even though you know the same thing has happened to you or men that you know and love and respect. What does that say? That says you're a problem, brother. That says you are the problem. You cowards. You cowards. You're afraid to stand up. And you're afraid to even say, let's push the brakes and let's see. Let's let the facts come out. Because we know that women, our lovely ladies, lie on black men all the time. Hell, I got one better for you. She dating a dope boy. The minute she get mad, she want to call the police and say where the gun and the stash is. So she's been rolling around and enjoying the blood money all these months and years. But the minute she get mad at him, she's just as much a culprit as him, because she's the reason, in part, why he doing all this dirt and committing all these crimes. But the minute she get mad, she want to turn state's evidence against him. Ain't that something? Hell, that's damn near worse than lying on him. That's you a Cody. And you snitching. Yeah, the dope is over there. That's what somebody, but I mean, you know, that's the game we play. I'm not even talking about that right now. I'm talking about these women that's willing to lie and you black men that's willing to believe them just because they're a woman and you're too afraid to stand up against the status quo. That's why Tory Lanez in this situation, that's why we didn't give it, that's why we didn't grill it like a goddamn skirt steak on a Memorial Day barbecue pit. We should have grilled that story and fished out all the facts before we got all this misinformation. To figure out, you know what, maybe this ain't straight up. Maybe this is some allegations and some misstatements being made and maybe some straight up lies in the situation. Maybe the motivation we think was the motivation wasn't the motivation. Or maybe this man is wrong and illegal as what he did. Maybe he was justified in how he felt. Although he shouldn't have did that. Maybe she said something so heinous about him and he felt so unjustly done that he snapped. I can understand it. I'm just saying. Give your brothers the benefit of the doubt. That's all I'm asking you brothers to do, man. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit the #1 button. If you like this conversation style that I'm transitioning over to, you like that? Uncle B done got preachy. You know what I'm saying? I got wow. Wow. Hey. Uncle D, Preacher D. Y'all like this? Hit the #1 button, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, fellas. Make sure I don't even see where the subscriptions have gone up, man. Let me check and double check. Let me give a shout out to my man Lucifer Ratzinger, XL Pro Services. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for the cash out. All my boys always look out for me, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm here for you. I love you. You know, I done lived my life. I'm enjoying my life. I don't have nothing to gain by misleading you. I want you brothers to just be men. I just want the best for you. That's it. I want the best for you men. I want you to recognize that this world belongs to you, that you have to procure your own justice. You can't let people continue to punk you. You black men deserve to be treated fairly. You deserve to be treated with justice. You deserve to run your own houses in your own community. You deserve to be respected by your women, but you got to take that respect. You can't let them keep punking you and pushing you and turning you and making you look weak and think they're going to respect you. A lot of the issues that we have is because black men don't collectively stand up. And here's the thing, when one black man stands up, we always try to destroy that black man, even when he's standing up for us and our manhood and our masculinity and our boys. You see what I'm saying? That's why brothers are like, well, hell, I'm going to just sit down. Or you know what? Never mind. Y'all on y'all own. Y'all figure it out. That's why brothers are like that. I'm cool. I ain't gonna waste my time and energy. Nah. That's what happens. Brothers just give up on me because y'all don't stand behind them. You see a black man trying to educate these lovely ladies and put them in their place. What do y'all call them? Simp? Or what? He hate black women. That's what y'all say. Even though he said, look, you got to treat black men with respect if you want them to stay around, or otherwise they're going to go date other women. Oh, you just a sellout. I just said treat them with respect, or they're going to go to other women and treat them with respect. What are you talking about? That making me a sellout? You kidding me? That's crazy. That is crazy. Every man wants respect. He got to earn respect. Well, let me show you how I earn respect. I'm going to check you when you lie on me. I'm going to check you when you open your big fat mouth and say I did something that I didn't. That's how I'm going to start earning respect. Oh, hold on a minute. They don't want that. You see what I'm saying? See, respect, getting your respect is damn near like a kick to the back to the person who's disrespecting you. That's how you get your respect. I'm not saying physically, I'm just saying.